Bob, nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here, Aaron. Good to see you.
Let's talk about AV over IP. Now, after the pandemic, we've seen end users put a lot of focus on the technology that they're using. They're really evaluating it, trying to find out, hey, is this the right fit for me? What has that done to how the end user or the client is approaching AV over IP?
We see much more of an interest in AV over IP today than we had pre-pandemic. But I would actually say that the shift actually started right before the pandemic, the beginning of 2020. We started to see a shift towards AV IP, kind of got sidetracked by COVID, but we're seeing it full force right now, where most of the conversations are discussing AV over IP.
And when AV over IP kind of came on the scene, the perception was that it was going to supplant, it was going to replace, it was going to take over. Has that changed in the market?
No, I don't think that has changed. There's still a force that's moving forward to have AV over IP as mainstream, let's call it that, right? But if you go back, it was a tough slog. At the beginning, 2014, 15, when we got involved, it was very, very difficult. The industry's been talking about this for 20 years or whatever it might be, right? But now it seems like, okay, we're going to embrace this, and whether it's because we have to or we need to, the jury's still out on that one.
Yeah, in Asia Pacific particularly, I'm seeing these really weird, interesting hybrids where AV over IP connects disparate locations, but then when it's just in room and there's no need to beam that content out, they're just going in room HDBaseT or whatever suits them. So personally, I think that it's going to be a mix of everything. Like every single tool will be required to kind of meet the needs of the clients.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that, right? Because AV over IP isn't needed everywhere. And again, we have a series of solutions for customers going all the way back to still using coax, right? So we're big believers in using existing infrastructure. Okay? Use what you can, the least expensive, the most efficient way that you can, and just move forward from there.
Lastly, I want to pick your brain on where AV over IP goes from this point onwards, right? We're seeing everything being rebuilt, rule books being thrown out, spaces being reconceptualized, redesigned. What role do you think AV over IP is going to play?
A massive role, right? Because it's just the most, it's getting to be a very, very efficient way of moving video and an accepted way. And let's face it, the industry here, they throw bandwidth at issues. That's the way we do things, right? And we'll continue to throw bandwidth at it. And so you can get excellent, excellent video over IP, right? If it can be compressed, it can be not compressed, but that's your choice depending upon the level of quality and latency that you require.
Bob, thank you so much.
Oh, good to see you again, Herrera.